It's just that you overthink. You want to examine everything down to its last little nth. Is that true? And you're just fascinated with everything. Most of your life you've been like that. Is that true?
I'm a scientist.
Oh, no wonder. Okay. I rest my case. Okay. So basically, with all of this information, thanks for coming, we just did a very good exercise. Sorry you missed it.
Sorry.
That's all right. But anyway, basically, what that exercise did, and everybody did grow, except the scientists, but that's okay. But basically, can you imagine what, in less than a minute, 30 seconds you did that exercise, and you change your perception, is that right? So, in all my classes, why I try and change people's perceptions is that your mind does not know the difference between an actual event and a made-up event. Did you know that? So therefore, and of course at this point there are people in the audience that's jumping up and down, when can I go to Las Vegas and does it work there? Okay, anything works if your mind is really dedicated into it, okay? So basically it's very important on that fact. There's a lot of other lessons I'm going to give you. I've got some, there's called a kick in the head actually, an exercise, an excerpt from the Epoch Succession and the other book, which is called Bada Bing Bang Boom. So that one is actually, those are free exercises on my YouTube. And if anybody's interested, you can, there's my flyers at the back, and you can sign your name. But if you want the links on the free exercises and the predictions, you can sign up. I will be doing the 2016 predictions in the next few weeks and uploading it. And I'm afraid, if anybody's seen it, some of them have, most of them come true, I believe. I don't check everything, but the hurricanes, the weather has been increasingly hot, I'm afraid, and it's only going to get worse. We've got some contributory factors here. One, we are in a huge energy shift, and does anybody believe in that? And it's, you know, don't give me 2012, quite frankly, it's nothing to do with 2012. It happened about 15 to 20 years before it started actually changing the energy. Now I'm going to go over some signs that are really uncovering in the both books, and these are shifts that you may be encountering that you are also changing yourself. Okay, so you can raise your hands if you want. Who here has had more either funks or depressions than they've ever had before? And it's been a roller coaster. More in a depression or a funk than out. And it's suffocating. You can't, and you can't, you're literally, and I hate to say it for the lady at the back, it's, even though you're now chirpy, it's as if you're in a straitjacket sometimes, and you don't, your mind just, you sit in a chair and that's it. And it's hard to even function outside, right? Who here has been experiencing that they're getting angry from 1 second to 2,000 in a few seconds, and they can't control it? They are just out of bounds. They can't, in a way, and even in some episodes, they actually enjoy it. And it sounds awful to say that, but you know why you're enjoying it. Guys? Huh?
It's a better vibration than being depressed, I guess.
Yeah, well, no, it's, sorry?
It's a release, probably, for
excuse me.
people.
You're right, it's in a way, and it's all of that, but why we kind of don't want to, we actually enjoying the depression, well, not the depression, but the anger is because you aren't that kind of person. You're always known as mellow. I agree with you. Oh, I'll support you, I'll help you. And now you're saying, no, you're not exactly going to help, but, you know, okay, go and do it on your own. You're actually recognizing that people aren't, you know, all the people you've been helping all this time aren't helping themselves. You're the crutch. You're the ones who's going to be helping them. You are there. You were created to help them. Aren't you lucky? But do you understand? So you're recognizing, and this is, we're in a period, the last 3.5 years, okay? This has been going on. Is that true? Where you're diving in and out? And these, I've got over 115, could be 135 signs. That's all going to be in the Bada Bing Bang book. You're going to tick off what's all these signs. These are only some of them. Who's been clearing their closets out? And clearing, big time. And who's been wanting to be alone? I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be with friends. Who's been getting rid of friends? So-called friends and family. And family, I'll put that. Okay, so this is all that you're clearing stuff out. You are, who wants to be, wants silence in their life? That they don't want to be yap, 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 yap all the time. And who wants a simple, I know all of it, right? You didn't have, I always believe, and I always say in my lectures, classes choose you, you don't choose the classes. And that's why I say for readings and lectures, the same thing. You're here for a reason, to know that you are not going mad. Well, maybe you are. Obviously, a bit of sense of humor, English, I'm sorry, I can't resist it. All right, so who's been finding that they're actually engineering their life now, or re-engineering their life, that, yes, and it all is about re-engineering, but they're wanting a simpler life. They're not wanting all those extraneous stuff. You know, oh, I want a larger TV. But you're seeing your friends or relatives buying 80-inch TVs and all that rubbish. Is that true? Are you experiencing that? And who's been around their friends or family who have been getting mad, like you, but really mad, and you're so fed up of it, you're actually agreeing with them just to shut them up. And they're still going on. Is anybody here experiencing that? You'll see much more of that, by the way. Good luck with that. Okay? Yeah. You're going to find, now, in all, and I'm kind of intersecting back and forth, okay? Who has been, and I've put this out in the last 4 or 5 years, I can't remember, for the predictions video, who's been seeing more suicides? And remember, these old guns, and I'm afraid on 12/12/12, I did a video, and I was and things like that because I didn't want to say it. And I was on the radio when I got the next day to confirm it, and I was saying there's going to be a lot more shootings. And that was the day before Newtown. And I didn't know it, but I was on the radio on an interview, and then that's how horrible Newtown, and I hate to say it's continued, right? And every year it has going on. And it's not about the guns, I'm sorry if I offend people, it's about the people. And that there are more suicides now from children from 8 to 28 than anything else. Go do your stats. It's nothing, that's what I'm seeing. Go check it. It's because these 8-year-olds aren't getting the time to be 8-year-olds. They're meant to be 13, 14. Have you noticed? Is that true? Yes. Your children? You know, they're being forced to grow up to be something else. And that's what's so scary, okay? So you're seeing a lot of changes in the world, and I'll talk about the terrorists and everything else in a minute. But basically, who's been feeling druggy as if they could sleep? You know, they're at work and they want us to go underneath their desk and go to sleep. And you're talking to somebody and you're waving and you wish you were just asleep. That's a big, huge surge of, I hate to say it, it's your changes. Now, you know, when you go into a but a caterpillar goes into a metamorphosis, goes into a cocoon, right? Correct? Now, do you know why you've been angry, you've been frustrated, and you've been all these high emotions? Who's been more emotional than ever been before? Yeah. Okay. And that you have. This is part of this metamorphosis, and I have a lecture uploaded on YouTube on depression, and the depression is a good thing if you're not in a clinical depression. Now you obviously think I'm wacko with that one, but basically it is good. Because what happens in a depression? You close down, don't you? You don't want to agree with anybody, you don't want to talk about anything, you want to be at home, you're imploding, correct? But that's a great thing, because what happens you start thinking about not, oh gosh, you know, what does Amy want? What does mom want? What does dad want? What does whatever, kittens want? It's do I want? That is why it's a good thing. It closes down all the avenues to look outside and you start thinking about yourself. Is that correct? And it is an important and crucial time for you to know that you have to start thinking about what you want. This is your time. And it's not being selfish, okay? And I'm trying to get everybody to not worry about the bigger economy. Start looking at your own economy. What do I need? Not to survive. Don't go into survival mode, because otherwise you will be in survival. You'll just scrape through. Okay, and there's a thing called a candle lesson. One of the things is, if you don't ask, you don't get. But if you ask for something like, oh, please get me some money, and you're telling spirit, right? And then you go in and you see a penny. Oh, you've got your money, what do you complain about? So what I'm telling you, kind of expand it a bit, okay? You know, really be a bit more, because they've got a great sense of humor on the other side, and you're the butt of their jokes. Okay, trust me, I know. So basically that's that point. But the caterpillar, did you know that when a caterpillar goes into a cocoon, why you're so in pain with the depression and the anger and the anguish and you're uncertain of yourself, you're insecure, is that true? All of this sounds familiar to everybody, most people here, is because you are in the cocoon. Did you know the caterpillar actually melts down to its cellular level and reforms into a butterfly? What do you think you've been doing? You're reforming. But it's important to get rid of, and that's why you don't want to be around friends, family, neighbors, whatever, colleagues, that are using you, to be honest, or you're just sucking the energy from you. You want to be alone. That's why you wanted this security and that silence within yourself. That's basically it. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so I don't know if you're ready to admit this, but who's decided that, or realizing that they don't want to accept less than they deserve? Right. Good, I'm proud of you. It's come to that point, because it takes a lot. Because mostly 98% of the people who come to these type of lectures or this kind of show is because they're givers, right? They're spiritually aware, but they don't necessarily take what they need, not what they want. There are two different words. There's actually part of one of the books I'll be doing in the future is about the actual words. What does it really mean? So be careful. Words are energy, music's energy, we are energy. How I read, by the way, okay. How I read, and a few people have had readings here from me, I do not go through angels, I don't go through guides, so don't even expect it. I am totally different. I go through pure energy. I go through dimensions. I am a claircognitive. A few of you know what that is, some of you don't. Just quickly. A medium communicates with people who have passed on, okay? A psychic is a bit of a catch-all, and I don't like that. It grinds my teeth. So a clairvoyant receives messages through pictures, a clairaudio hears it, a clairsentient feels it, okay? So I'm all of that, plus I get it in taste and I get it in smell. That's the only time I will hesitate. Otherwise I'm talking like this. So if you get a reading from me downstairs, make sure, as a lot of people know, get it recorded either on your phone or with me, and I'll send a CD. But because you hear what you want to hear, not what I'm telling you, okay? And with the CD, you actually hear new things on subsequent hearings. Is that true, Lacey? No? Is that true? Yeah. Okay, it's kind of weird. I've stopped questioning it. Thousands of people have told me that. But you do hear new information if you're doing what you're meant to be doing. I'm not there to nag you, I'm just there to guide you, okay? So anyway, back to predictions. So who here would say, and this is a toughie, and you don't need to raise your hand on no, I already know. By the way, I always used to tell my now husband, you can't lie to me, and he used to get really nervous, and I don't know why. But anyway, so here we go, what I'm saying. saying is that I am going to be brutally honest on certain things, but this one is, please, and I don't mean to upset certain people, but basically, who here has had the lot for the last 2.5 years, if not 3, it's the worst times of their life that they've experienced. And no one had it before that. Sorry. And you've had it pretty bad, right?
Yes.
I know, and only in the last 2.5 months, and by the way, I am reading on the spot, not confidential stuff, but the last 2.5 months it seems to come round, but then it goes into reversal. It's like a bit of a tsunami, is that true?
Yes.
And you are a fighter, you've always been a fighter, but sometimes it's hard to just fight nothing when you can't see it. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that I'm a fighter because I'm not belligerent.
Yeah, a belligerent, I love that. So, but you do not let things in the past get you down, but this, it's been a literally leveling experience, is that true?
Oh, sure.
Really cleaned you, but, okay, it's hard, I know, and I know this lecture is kind of a hodgepodge of everything, but I always get what's needed in the audience and then get it back. So basically that renewal that you're going through, and I hate to say it's going to continue, sorry about that, but there is an end game, okay? It's about this phase is phase 5, and there are a lot of videos about it. Phase 5, 1, it's a clearing, cleansing, and clarifying. That's exactly what you're doing. Is that true? No? And you're seeing that, right? You overanalyze things. You need to kind of back off, right? Stop, looking at that. And it doesn't mean to be all that intense, okay? You'll have an easier time of it, I promise. Okay, and who here would, after that last sign, who here has experienced that every 3, as little as 2 weeks sometimes, or even 7 days, or even, say, 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, are not the same person they are. They change so much in less than 5, 6 weeks to maybe 2, 3 months. They're changing, they're evolving. The things that you liked before aren't what you like now. That you are clarifying what you want. You're feeling more energized. Maybe in the last 3 weeks, more. It's coming into that new energy. So these are only a few of the signs of about 120 of them. I think there are 130 I've got, to help you clarify if you are going through this. But I think mostly you all are. So it's a transitioning phase, and I'm going to go into a bit of, quick. I'm just trying to get everything in, but that was the important thing, is that you are in change, okay? And it's hard. And all we are, and no offense to the readers downstairs, you will not, I won't tell you what to do. I'm not here for that. Whose life is it? Mine? Your life is not mine, right? It's your life, not mine. So therefore, I'll give you guidance, and some of these guys, I'm not going to kind of show you who they are, but when you listen, we are trying to give you a roadmap, and that's all we're trying to do. And if the pitfalls, oh yeah, by the way, there's a 20-foot fall down there, and if you want to go in, go ahead. And by the way, there are so many things that I have, like one guy came in on readings, I don't know how they find me, to be honest, quite a few years ago, and you've heard it also, but he came in from New York. He was calling me on the phone, and in readings, I always go backwards if you're new. No exception, I don't care. And it's important because the events I'm bringing up are tied to you now, and you need to clear them and look at them, okay? So anyway, I said 2 weeks ago, first thing out of my mouth, 2 weeks ago, you had a gun in your mouth. So kids here, all right. You had a gun in your mouth, and you were and you pulled the trigger, and the gun didn't go off, did it? He said, how did that? Use another word. How did you know? I said, you think you're alone? Honestly, you all think you're alone. You're not. And don't say, oh my God, I'm changing. I'm not alone. No, don't worry. But what I'm saying is, and I said the gun went off later, didn't it? He said, how did you know? I go backwards because it's not because of that. unfortunately, this was the gentleman whose mother was in the towers, the World Trade. She died in that when he was, it's hard to get through that kind of thing. So it's a lot of things that are coming in from your past. Who's getting memories they've never had before, but they're suddenly popping up? I want you to, and this is part of the Bada Bing Bang book, but basically get a notebook, start a notebook and put down things that it's occurring to you. They're tied. There's some things that those memories, don't obsess about them, but you will see that they are tied and you need to look at them and not study them, but there's something that's your co-behavior. There's a lot of controllers in this room, and I know women are more or less known to be controllers, but anyway, just be careful. Controlling, and in one of my classes, it's called Face Your Fears. Did you know that more you try and control, the less control you have over anything? Bad, right? But it's also, the more you fear something, the more that fear will manifest in your life. Did you know that? So you better watch it. And that's only two of the things that I'm going to try and get, not all 90 classes, but I'm trying to weave in a lot of lessons in both books. And I know, I keep on saying it's been 4 years since I've been writing it, it's been about this big. So I have to edit it down. And that's what I'm doing at the moment, I'm trying to get it out. So anyway, predictions. Now, it's all there. If anybody wants to hear about it, the 2015, the snow late until the end of May came intro. The heat wave index is going up 2-3 more than that, on top of last year's. It's going to continue next year. More West Coast hurricanes, which 3 are off Hawaii at the moment. But we are going to have 2 more coming in, at least 2 more coming in and hitting this coast, but not San Diego. It's going up more north and affecting it, okay? We're getting far more, the hurricanes and everything else, I'm afraid I've been kind of accurate. There's one coming in, I think you said that was it you? Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where it was, but
Yeah,
I
it
saw
was
on the news it was close.
Yeah, and it's going to hit, it's already touching Miami at the moment. But anyway, all of this is tornadoes, all the weather system. And did you know we're going through literally a renewal of the planet? And it's what I call a terraformer. And a terraformer means that the planet is renewing itself, it's regrowing. Everything's energy. How I talk to you, how I read you is pure energy, and that's through dimensions, and I won't even ask you how many dimensions I go through. But basically, it's all energy, and you are changing at a rapid level. You need to, your grandmother, and it's usually the mafia grandmothers and mothers who come in. I want to
Mafia?
Yeah. I call them mafia because they're kind of pushy and mean. But basically, you need to start accepting gifts. You give a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, to everybody. But you need to start accepting things coming to you because you've given and given and given, and it's not that you're rejecting it, but what you do, and this is one lesson I never learned until late, and that people wanted to give me things, and I say, no, because, I'd rather give. But you're denying them that same pleasure. You understand? Accept of it, because you've done so much, and they appreciate you, love you so much. But they appreciate, that you will be more open, okay? Is that all right? Okay, so we're going to, I'm not going to go into the elections, but I hate to say, don't start, I did predict this, the European collapse. And then China is only going to get worse, I'm afraid. Do not start freaking out about it. If it is going to affect, obviously, the economy here, but if you are being proactive, why give the predictions? It's not to scare you that, all the USGS is showing that it's got a massive, how can I say this? Massive increase of earthquakes. Are we on time? 2 minutes. Okay, so basically it's going to increase, and I've said where the predictions and all the earthquakes. I said 2 years ago that we're going to experience that 5s were huge for us a long time ago. Now 6s is nothing and 7s is nothing, right? 7 pointers. And 8s, 8 and 9, we're heading for that, I'm afraid. But do not stop freaking out. And some of my clients want to know when I leave California. I wonder why. But anyway, and you'll find out eventually. But no, but basically, we will be knowing, getting to see far more, and that's more. I hate to say in South America. I'll do more detailed predictions later. But please, if you want, I know that we've got this back, but if you want the links, I'll send you all the predictions links and all the classes. And the candle lesson is a big one. If you are getting stuck, especially with the depressions, light the candles. You've all got different colors. You can email me if you want the colors. I'll gladly email that back to you. I haven't got time now. But basically, follow the candle lesson. And when you're depressed, light the candle. Please get me through the day. And you know what? You get floated through the day so beautifully. But if you don't ask, you don't get. Okay, there's some other caveats to watch it, okay? But anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to hand it over to Deborah.
Thank you.